Nia Akoma, Olivia here. welcome to my creative parenting class. I wanted to make sure you guys can hear me. Let me share this stream. Let me share it. Invite guests to the stream. Invite my guests. We are doing a parenting class for parents, for anybody who needs it. Let me see. All right. People are anticipating my link. Where is? Let's see. I got one more person that I want to send a link to, and then we'll get started. How is everybody doing on this Friday night? Hold on. I am doing well. Thank you for asking. Oh man, that's not what I wanted. I'm just sending out the link, guys. I'm sending out the link. Because I know some people want to come to this parenting class. All right, I'm back. Hello, everybody. Hello. I just want to say that I am excited to be doing this class. Where's my chat? There's my chat. I found my chat. All right. Well, today we're going to be talking about creative parenting. And not just creative parenting, but creative parenting for spirited children. Child, what is a spirited child? A spirited child is someone or a child who is more intense, more of everything. Like you might have had some children who were, this might be your second child, and this one was calm, cool, and collected. But the second one, the spirited one, cries about everything, tags itch them. They don't like this, they don't like that. They can't be soothed, and it just seems completely different from the child that you had. But that's because they are just more. They are more of everything. Spirited children are gifted, and a lot of times parents don't really know how to handle giftedness. They don't know how to handle it. Hello. Can you hear me? Let me see. Did I give the right link? Let me see. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hi.
Who is this?
It's Tamika.
Hey, Tamika. Welcome to the parenting class, girl. We just starting off, so I'll get back to what I was saying, but I seen somebody jump in. So hey. Welcome to Creative Parenting.
Hello.
Hi. Do you have any kids that you're creatively parenting?
Yes.
Yes. Do you wanna talk about them?
I wanted to listen.
Okay, but you can listen too. Well,
Okay.
all right. So I just jumping out. All right. So anyway, creative children are very unique in their upbringing. They're very perceptive. A lot of times they're gifted. They have gifts to be able to see and hear various things that other children don't see and hear. They're able to just know things. They can feel your feelings before you even recognize your feelings. And sometimes they say, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And you say nothing, but the child knows. The child is more intensive in everything. They feel things, they know things, and they just are extraordinary. So a lot of parents don't know how to parent spirited children. And so with that comes frustration. They get frustrated because they're like, what am I going to do with this child? If y'all haven't noticed, I am a spirited person. I am more extroverted. I am more of everything in every way. And I was raised by a parent who, did not know how to parent me. And so with not knowing how to parent me, I missed out on a lot of things that I needed. And so my mission in life is to work with the kids who are spirited, who are gifted, highly talented, but from a perspective of being that child before and understanding now how the children that are highly gifted, highly intense are to be raised. And so I just want to let you guys know that it's a blessing that you were chosen to parent a gifted child, because that child is going to enhance you, enhance your skills, enhance who you are. It's going to teach you things that you never thought you needed to learn with an intense child. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint. Hopefully everybody can see it. Where is it? Let me see. There I am. Can y'all still see me? Welcome to Creative Parenting. I am Olivia. I have a bachelor's in social work. I have a master's in business administration. I have a master's in applied behavior analysis. Shout out to ABA. And I'm a licensed behavior specialist in Pennsylvania and a substitute teacher in Arizona, but we ain't talking about that right now. All right, let's get to the next slide. So building a relationship with your spirited child. Creative parenting involves being able to build a relationship with your child. And I know you're probably thinking, well, I already have a relationship with my child, but what kind of relationship do you have? If your child is more intense in every way, are you displaying behaviors that are frustrated because they are engaging in maladaptive behaviors? They're engaging in behaviors to get your attention. They're engaging in behaviors to get something they want, right? Instead of seeing them for who they are and not who you want this child to be. Because a lot of times parents have a child and they want that child to be who they want them to be, not who they are, but who they want them to be. And when you're parenting a child from the standpoint of who you want them to be, that's never going to work out, because the child is going to feel that you're not being authentic to who they are as a human being. And then that leads to frustration, that leads to disconnectedness, and that leads to decreased presence. If you're frustrated continuously with somebody, do you think your child can understand that you are frustrated? They know you're frustrated even when you're not seeming like you're frustrated. Your energy is giving them something, right? And so with frustration, everything your child do that's not like you think it should be is going to frustrate you, and that leads to disconnectedness. If you're disconnected from your child, how are you going to be tuned into their needs? Are you even tuned into yourself? You're disconnecting because you're frustrated, you're tired, this child is too much, you don't want to do it, and you just get overwhelmed. And that's expected because it's not easy to be a parent. It's not easy. I understand that. And so that's why I'm here trying to give some reprieve to parents so that you guys can have something, some tools to fall back on, especially when you're parenting a spirited child, a child who is just more intense, more extroverted, wants more of your attention, more of your love, more everything from you. And we don't want you to be decreased in your presence, because when you decrease your presence from your child feels that. They don't feel like they know you. I grew up in a home where my mother she didn't have a presence there. I felt like I grew up in a house of a stranger. She was a stranger. And so I was there, but there was a stranger raising me. I knew nothing about her. She was always mad at me. She was always frustrated. She couldn't see me for who I was. And I didn't understand as a child what I did wrong to her besides being myself. And a lot of your children believe that. They don't know what they did wrong to you that make you feel angry or upset with them, because they're just being themselves, because their selves is really just extra intense, you know? And so creative parenting. What are you teaching your child about the outside world based on your relationship with your child? Well, we know you're the child's first teacher. You teach the child how to interact with his or her world. If in the house is not safe, they believe that the world is not safe. If you're not able to express your feelings, your thoughts, your emotions, and I know you're thinking, I shouldn't be expressing these things to my child. You absolutely should, but in a way that they could understand. Hey, mommy is not feeling well today. Can you give me 10 minutes? Let me set a timer so mommy can decompress, and then I can talk to you. Instead of just saying, get out of my face. I'm tired of you. You always trying to figure out what's going on with me. You see the difference? A child can understand, okay, if I set a timer, I go back to mommy instead of, I'm tired of you. Children internalize that. They internalize the fact that you don't want to be around them because maybe they are spirited, they're intense. They did something at school today that you didn't like or the teacher didn't like, and you disconnect from them. And so you need to check in with yourself. I know we're talking about children, but in order to be a creative parent, you have to check in with you. Who are you? How are you feeling today? What is it that you need in order to be successful in your day? Not just as a parent, because if you're successful in your day, you'll be successful in parenting that child because you'll be calm. You'll have your needs met. Did you eat? Did you take a shower today? Did you have a good day at work? What's going on with you before you engage in parenting? Sometimes you just need to check in with yourself. A lot of times we don't check in. Parents don't check in because it's a hustle and a bustle. I got to go to work. I got to get him to school. I got to cook dinner. I got to do homework. I got to put him in bed. I got to get him to soccer practice. I got to get here. I got to do this, got to do that. And a lot of times there's no time to check in with yourself. You're replenishing yourself. You're on an empty tank. How can you do anything effectively on an empty tank? You need to fill your tank. Meditate, pray. Ask for guidance from your higher power. What is it that you need? Do you need to take 5 minutes? It's only 5 minutes of your day 5 minutes of time in your day can change your whole day. So you have to check in with yourself. Positive relationships between parents and children help children learn about the world. And I'm going to give you some ways on how building strong relationships with your child helps them learn about the world. Being a safe parent, the first thing you need to know is, as a safe parent, they know that regardless of what is happening with them, you are safe. If they make a mistake, if they cry, if they do something you don't particularly like, if they do something the teacher don't like, is it still a safe place to be vulnerable? Children need to know that they have a safe place to be vulnerable. And if you don't give them a safe place to be vulnerable, they're going to be vulnerable with the people who are going to give them a safe space. That could be friends. That could be adults that are not good for them. It could be a lot of things. Kids are seeking validation. If you're not validating who they are, somebody is, and they're going to gravitate towards the person who is validating whatever it is that they have or they need in their life. So are you a safe parent? When you're frustrated, are you screaming and yelling? What is going on with you that makes you possibly not be a safe parent? Check in with yourself. Where can you get better at making sure that your child's emotional self is okay? Because we always talk about children not having emotional regulation, right? And not being able to bond with their parents emotionally. But is the parent giving the child a safe place to bond emotionally? That is a question we need to ask. And how do you bond with your child emotionally so that they can have self-regulation? You talk to them about your feelings. You talk to them about their feelings. You share with them. You let them know when they're hurt, it's going to be okay. You let them know that regardless of whatever the situation is, they can make it from wherever they are. You will be there for them regardless if they're up or down. They need to know that you care for them in a way that others are not displaying. Because if you don't, somebody else will. And we don't know who that somebody else is, and we don't want to find out. So we want to give our child a safe place. We also must empathize. When your child faces a challenge, you can put yourself in their shoes and let them know that you understand. A lot of times we just kind of roll on with the punches. Children go through things. We don't empathize because we never had anybody to empathize with us. And so we take that same thing and say, okay, well, I don't got to empathize. I'm your mom. You know me. Keep it moving. But again, we have to let them know that life is full of challenges. We are there for them. We understand. Even if we don't understand, we can ask for clarity. Have you ever thought your child said, Mommy, such and such happened to me? Oh, okay, for real? I mean, I don't get it, but okay. Ask questions. Ask clarifying questions from your child. Well, what do you mean? We don't know if something's happening to that child. We don't know if they got a bad vibe, a bad feeling. We don't take these kids' emotions and feelings seriously a lot of times. Oh, they just being a child. Children are so perceptive. They are so perceptive. They pick up on the small things that you don't even see all the time, right? They know things that you don't see. So you have to be able to stand in their shoes. They're a 5-year-old. Yeah, you might be 35, you might be 40. They're a 5-year-old who is scared, who doesn't understand, and yes, has learned to shape their environment and manipulate their environment. But that doesn't mean that you can't empathize with them, right? Be consistent. This is a big one. Consistency with children is what shapes the environment. It shapes their world. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you can't do it, explain to them. Don't do it and don't say anything. They're learning to trust you or not trust you in the way that you interact with them in their world. Being consistent with boundaries helps kids feel safe. Like I talked about earlier, being safe. If there's no boundaries, there's no safety. If anything goes in this house, there's no safety. You need to make sure that you have boundaries around what is expected and the behavior that you expect to see and what the consequences are if there's not. Kids will be kids. I'm not saying this ain't a boot camp, but you have to have some clear expectations and rules and rewards that your child can follow, and they know what they receive when they follow those rules, right? Play together. I don't see a lot of parents playing with their kids a lot of times. Play with them. Sit on the floor with them. They're 2, they're 3, they're 4. They want mommy time. Just like I got a cat child. I got to sit on the floor, play with this baby because she wants some time. It's just like a child. They want time. They want your attention. And if they don't get that kind of play time, they're going to do negative behaviors to get your attention any way necessary. Kids do it by any means necessary. Okay. They do anything necessary to get your attention. So foster an environment where there's a scheduled playtime. That could be one of the consistent things you do with them. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes, you give them your undivided attention before you cook dinner, before you start homework, before they clean their room, before they go off to school. Hug them, sit on the floor, play trains with them, ask them what they want to do because they're waiting for you to jump into their world, right? They want to be with you. They love you unconditionally. A child's love is unconditional. And so play with them. Activate that imagination within them. Imagination is key, man. I love imagination. We ain't talking about me though. Communicate openly. When I was growing up, I was in a home that there was no communication. I didn't know what was happening. I knew my mother's moods based off of what was going on. And it was kind of like I'm walking on eggshells. I don't know what to expect, when to expect it. I don't know if she's happy or sad, if I did it, if I didn't do it. I lived in like a war zone, y'all. You do not want your child to live in a war zone when they just see you having all kind of emotions. Let them know I'm not feeling well. Let them know that mommy needs a moment. Daddy needs a moment. Let them know that mommy needs a timeout. Daddy needs a timeout. Communicate with them. You don't have to tell them verbatim, mommy, whatever happened. And then they don't need to know all your business, child, but they do need to know that you're human. They do need to know that you can empathize. They do need to see you modeling the behavior that you're expecting from them. You want them to communicate with you what is going on, but you're not modeling that behavior. You're not modeling what that looks like, right? So model the behavior of communication, even if it's, talking to them about their day, talking to them about what they like, what they don't like, what they didn't like. A lot of times we don't ask kids what they don't like because we only ask them what they like, but they have opinions about what they don't like too, right? So ask them, talk to them, communicate with them. All right, what's the next one? Oh, I did that one twice. Did I do that one twice? Oh, okay. So I did that twice. Get into their space. Like I said, get on the floor, go into their room, sit on their bed, talk to them, look around because there's stuff in your child's room I'm sure you don't even know is in there. They got toys that don't belong to them. They got toys that do. They got toys under the bed. They got all kind of stuff going on in their room. And if you're not going into their spaces, evaluating their space, getting to know what's going on with them, what they bringing in the house, what they doing in their spare time. A lot of kids are just on video games all day. You know, take them outside a little bit. Hey, go play outside. Let me go out here with you. Get into their space. Don't just let them stay in the room, shut the door. You don't know what's going on in there. It's your responsibility as a parent to know what is going on in the rooms, because I mean, kids are on the internet meeting all kind of people. They're seeing all kind of things. This is not like my generation, child. We had Frogger. And we had what? Oregon Trail. We ain't have all of this stuff that we have now that these kids are getting into. So be mindful and be aware. Get into their space. See what's going on. Get on the floor with them. Play games with them. Do things with them so that they can feel like you care and you love them. Yes. And I already said be consistent. These are some of the things that parents of spirited children need. I mean, all children need these things, but spirited children need a lot more openness, attention, and they need a lot more understanding, because sometimes they don't understand themselves. Spirited children can be autistic children. Spirited children can be ADHD, children with ADHD, children with dyslexia, children with bipolar, children. Well, I don't think they diagnose children with bipolar, but you know what I'm saying? Different variations of cognitive abilities. They need understanding. They need consistency. They need care. They need understanding, because a lot of times they go out into the world and the world tells them you're too intense. The world tells them you're not good enough. The world beats them down for being different, for looking different, for speaking different, for acting different, from thinking different. They are beat up in the world. And all of these tools that I gave you is things that these children need in order to survive, be resilient, because it is not easy being a spirited individual. I'm a walking testimony of parenting that was lackluster. Parenting who never came up to the school, parents who never, there were times, you know how on the school calendar, like Columbus Day, like my mom didn't know there was no school. So I'm roaming the streets because I don't want to be home with her. I'm roaming the streets doing different things because she didn't even know it was a holiday, right? She didn't know nothing about my schooling. And she didn't even know that I was gifted really until I was 13 when I got diagnosed with ADHD. She never went up there. It was just, there was no care. There was no concern. There was no consistency. I don't want the children that are like me, who are highly gifted and highly intelligent, to grow up in that atmosphere. It is a scary place, and it fosters low self-worth, because nobody cares about you. Nobody cares how you feel. Nobody cares if you're in school. Nobody knows what's happening with you. You're just here floating through life. I don't want that for my kids, right? I want to see them do better. And I want to give you parents the tools to make sure that these kids have what they need, okay? What's the next one? So we have to start acknowledging how our kids feel. A lot of times, spirited kids, they don't always make sense in their speech, or sometimes they can't speak full sentences, or sometimes they can only point, or sometimes they can read, but sometimes it's off, or whatever the case is, they want to be understood. You need to find a way to connect with your child, whether they speak or they don't, if they have verbal language or they don't, because they always speak. It's just not verbal a lot of times. So we need to find ways to connect with our children, whether they speak, whether they don't speak. What do they like? Do you even know what your child like? There's a lot of times I talk to parents and I say, what is your child like? And they tell me all these things. And so when I go to play with the child with these things, they don't like it. They think this is what the child likes because maybe they touched it one time or whatever. And come to find out, I sit on the floor with them a little bit and figure out what they actually like. And then the parents are looking at me like, he doesn't like that. No, he does. Just because he didn't speak and say he liked it, I am analyzing and watching what he goes for, right? A lot of times parents don't know what they like because, they're not paying attention. But I know that parents' worlds are busy. Parenting is a thankless job, and I understand that, you can't get to everything, but this is important. Acknowledging your child's feelings shows them that you understand and assures them that you are there to help with whatever they need. Try to see things from your child's perspective. Seeing things from your child's perspective, or even remembering when you were a child and you felt misunderstood, or you felt sad, or you felt not included. This is the same way your child can be feeling. And it's kind of like parents can't really put their feet in the child's shoes. The child can never put their feet in an adult's shoes because they've never been an adult. But an adult can put their feet in a child's shoes because they've been there. And they know how it feels if you go back in your memory and remember those things your parents did to you. The things that hurt you, the things that they said that made you feel less than, the things that made you feel disconnected. This is how your child feels, and maybe at a higher intensity because they're spirited. They may be feeling alone because they don't feel understood. They don't feel seen. They don't speak maybe. So they feel left out. Maybe their other sibling speaks. And so you talk to that person, that child, more than you talk to them. They want to connect with you. They want to know you. They want to know you love them. And I know you think they know. Love is an action word. Love is action, y'all. We have to show action that we care about our kids. We can't just assume that they know. Kids don't know. We don't know. They don't know what we think they know. So I just want you guys, this is a short parenting class. I just want you guys to know that being a parent is not easy. And especially a parent to a gifted, highly gifted, spirited child. It can be like pulling teeth. Child, you might want to pull your hair out sometimes because you don't understand them. But this is an opportunity for you as a parent to grow. You're growing in your experiences. You're growing in your wisdom. You're growing in how to handle different emotions and feelings that you may have never had. Your other child may have never had, but you're experiencing this as a growth tool for you. That's what parenting is. Parenting opens you up to who you really are. It's a tool to show you your deficits and your strengths. And if you embrace it and look at it as a way to embrace all of you, you can fully embrace that child and all of their quirks and all of their goodness and all of their mistakes and all of the things they do right or wrong. As long as you can accept yourself and see yourself in this child and how this child can teach you to grow, you halfway there, guys. So I just wanted to come out here and throw a short creative parenting class because I see so many parents struggle. I work in school districts. I see kids come to school and they're going through so many things, and parents need support. I'm here to support those parents because I didn't have a parent who was supportive of me. And I went through, as a spirited person, as a spirited and highly gifted adult, as a child, I went through the fire. So I'm here to make that better. I'm doing parenting classes once a week. I will be streaming live online. My Kajabi is being set up. So we're working on some things so we can get our kids situated and our parents equipped for the world ahead. So I love you guys. Nia Koma, which means, hey, take heart. And I will see you in the next creative parenting video. Bye.